Hey everyone, I'm here to help you end out week 4 with a really important topic, and that is the power of discipline. I want to read to you a quote before we get started, and that is from Harry Emerson Fosdick. I've actually never heard of him, maybe you have, but he said one of the widest gaps in human experience is the gap between what we say we want to be and our willingness to discipline ourselves to get there. So, what I want you to do is to really, as I'm speaking, sit there and think about how you're living your life, your decisions that you make, and really make a plan of action of how you want to move forward and really set in stone the promises you're making to yourself in this business that are going to affect your business a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and your team. I want you to be honest with yourself above all. It doesn't matter who you talk to. It really matters how honest you are with yourself. It's really ironic when the leaders of Diesel Nation, who are putting together this training program for Diesel Nation coaches, we were talking about the topics that we wanted to really lay out for all of you so that you could learn from us and learn how to be successful and hopefully at a faster rate than us. And we all had the chance and the ability to pick the topics that we wanted to speak on. The great thing about our team is that we were able to line it all out in a really short amount of time because we operate as family and we work together as a team. But one thing that I thought was quite ironic was I was the first one to volunteer to speak on this subject. Now, if you're following me now and you just only know me since I've become a Beachbody coach, you might say, well, of course you would pick this. You seem to have a lot of discipline and you seem to be a pro at this topic, but not really so. If you didn't know me now, you knew me back in pre-2012 and before, you would have found that the Mindy Horde then was somebody who was out of control. I literally lacked self-control. I lacked self-discipline. I lacked a path of, to lead me towards any type of success. I had made so many impulsive decisions because I lacked that self-discipline and I lacked that drive and I lacked a path to get me to somewhere good in life that I made so many decisions that really altered my future and my present time. And it really kept me in this failure state of mind. And because of that, I really repelled any positivity. I repelled anybody that was successful. And I convinced myself that success was not for somebody like me. So one thing that I want to tell you is that success is for everybody. Everybody who walks the face of this earth has the ability to succeed. The problem is that most people do not succeed because they lack the discipline to succeed. They lack the tools to succeed. They lack the support to succeed. Well, if you're a Beachbody coach, especially if you're part of Diesel Nation, you don't lack the tools. You do not lack the support. You have tons of resources as a coach to become the best version of yourself. You have the tools and the assistance and the support to help you become the best version of yourself every day, each year, and bring people along that want to do the same thing. The thing that I have noticed since I have been in this business is the people who are successful aren't the people who got in this opportunity first. They aren't the people who know the most people. They aren't the people who are the best marketing strategists. They are not the people that have the most Facebook friends, live in the biggest town, know the most information. It's the people that have the discipline and the drive to stay in here. They have that determination. I see coaches out there all the time who know the ins and out of the business. They may have lost 100 pounds, done every program out there that we have to offer. They may attend every event and they may know all these things, but the biggest thing is you need to have discipline consistently. Number one, it is so important that we as coaches understand why we're here. That's one of those things that you first figure out when you work with your coach on your Getting Started Right call. So once you have your why, that is relative to change throughout your journey, that is what gets you going. That is what drives you. And that is something that you need to keep at the front of your brain at every second that you're a coach. You need to make sure that you Tell other people so that you're held accountable. And you need to make sure that you go in every day and tell yourself that I am worth this, I can do this, and I am worthy of all of the benefits that being a successful coach has to offer. And that I'm willing to put some skin in the game, and that I'm willing to invest my time, because in the end, it will be worth it. And I am worth it, and I can do it. So I cannot tell you enough that the 3 vital behaviors come very much into play when it comes to cultivating the power of discipline. That's how I learned the power of discipline. And that's how I found that I had it in me all along. It's all about choices. I tell my children this, I tell my husband this, I tell my challengers this, I tell my coaches this, is that every day we're faced with decisions. And we can take it one way or the other way. And no matter what decision that we make, it all will affect our future. And there are so many people that make these little decisions and they think that, oh, nobody's looking, this one time won't matter, but it does matter. Like I said in the beginning, you cannot lie to yourself. Every time you make that decision to sit down on the couch, watch that reality show, do things that don't really drive your business and don't really feed your mind and don't really help you accomplish the goals that you have set out for yourself that are going to really, really impact your future and your family's future. You're not doing the things that you promised your challengers you were going to do. You're not doing the things that you said you were going to do that were going to lead you to success. Every time you do those things, you eat away at your power of discipline. Power of discipline is just like your muscles, just like your willpower. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Everybody has muscles, everybody has willpower, and everybody has discipline. Most people don't use it enough to grow it and make it strong. This is one thing of why I've watched coaches for 4 years come in and out of this business. It isn't the lack of the transformation. It isn't the lack of the belief in the products. It isn't the lack of support or resources. Like I said, it's the fact that people don't have the discipline. They sit there and when they're faced with the decision, it's like, do I go out to the bar with a friend, or do I stay and do personal development? Do I go on vacation, or do I invite like a boss over the weekend? Do I set aside every date, every year, for every quarterly event, Super Saturday, Summit, anything to make sure that I go and feed my mind? Or are those things not important to me? It really all comes down to discipline, and it all comes down to a belief of yourself, whether you believe you can do it. So I ask you today to ask yourself how strong your power of discipline is. How bad do you want this? How bad do you want to succeed? How bad do you want to help other people? How bad do you want an excellent and extraordinary life? These are the things that matter. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Don't settle for mediocrity. Don't settle for just slightly above average. Go for extraordinary. That's what I am doing this year, and it takes discipline. It takes long nights, getting up early in the morning, sacrificing a little bit of time, but I'm telling you, in the end, knowing that you put the skin in the game and you made the sacrifices, and knowing that you have made a difference is so much more rewarding than that extra hour of sleep or that extra episode of your reality show that you got to catch. One thing that I want to share lastly is that I was on a call the other night as a guest speaker of a coach that is pushing so hard to reach his goals that he knew that he had to go all in. We've worked really hard together. He's not even one of my personally sponsored coaches, but he knew he had to go all in. And unfortunately, because he made the decision to set aside time to do regular weekly calls for his team that is still in the growing process, but he made the commitment. And then last minute, he found out that his daughter had a recital come up. Of course, I am never saying to pick business over family, but he knew the commitment he made to his team. And it's one thing that Melissa Galmay said in her video is that if you expect your team to show up, then you need to do it. So unfortunately, he had to make the decision of, do I host my regular team call or do I attend my daughter's recital? His daughter knows how important this business is. She is part of this business with him. She knows what it means to him and what it means to her family, even being a very small child. Just like I sat down and told my children years ago what this opportunity meant for all of us, and that it was going to take a little sacrifice. And for me, it took exactly 21 months of sacrifice. But he made the decision to move forward with the blessing of his daughter to be on the call. It doesn't mean that his team or the business or money or Success Club points or rank advances were more important than his daughter, but he was willing to put the sacrifice in now so that in the future he does not have to miss any important event for his family. So I leave you with that, and I hope that you took away something from this, and I hope that you take the weekend to think about this so that you really use the power of discipline to take everything that you've learned and run with it, not just in week 5, but here on forward, and that you do it in a manner that the people that are watching you and the people that have trusted you and that are part of your team are doing the same thing because they want to duplicate what you do, to be the type of person you are, and to be the leader that you are, and to see the success that you see, and to make a difference like you are.